Okay, now we're talking about my adoption stuff. Okay, adoption stuff. So we did the paperwork. We talked about the paperwork from Becky. Yep. Now, okay, back in like 2010-ish, maybe 2000. I don't remember. Somewhere around 2010-ish. Okay, so I don't know if it was renewing my license or I was doing something where I had to prove my name because I kept my married name even though I got divorced for my kids. So I had to prove that, my birth certificate, I had to show something with both the names on it. So I looked up my name and to get the marriage certificate and divorce certificate. And I saw that my ex-husband had, which I mean, I didn't know if it was him or not because there's a couple people in his family named the same. So, but he was married to somebody named Mariana, which is my adoptive name. I mean, my birth name, I guess. But I don't have all my full name. I can't give that to you because I don't have it. But all I can tell you is like Von something, and then Schultz or Schwartz or Schumann, some kind of like German or Jewish last name. I don't know. I'm not sure. Because I just looked at the paperwork quickly and I threw it away because I thought it was a joke. Definitely regretting that now. Okay. Because I think my situation here would be a lot different if I had those finances behind me, Okay, so sometimes you need the right weapon, and the right weapon in court is definitely an attorney that knows what they're doing, or at least an attorney period who knows the law and what the rules are. Because I always get like, I don't know, I get in trouble in court because I don't do it right, but I'm not an attorney. I have no desire to be either. I'm not supposed to be in there. I'm supposed to be out healing people and helping people. That's my agenda here on earth. It's not to defend people in court. That's not my thing, and that's okay because some people, that's their thing. So, but anyway, so when I went online to get my divorce and marriage certificate to prove to get my license or whatever, I saw that he would married somebody, or that he said his name, and what I know now is my adoptive name. Now, when we were getting divorced, he said some crazy stuff, but we used to do drugs back then, whatever, who hasn't, right? But I stopped, and he still was, partying, and so I just thought he was on drugs or something, or just partying and just talking crazy or whatever one day. But one day he comes, I went to get the kids, and he's like, you don't want to come back with me? I'm gonna take your inheritance. I'm gonna take all your money, is what he said. I'm gonna take all your money. I'm going to marry your friend in your name, take all your money, and then get in the way of every single thing that you do from now on, like relationship wise. I'm guessing that's what he meant. And I'm like, what money? What are you talking about? I'm like, you're just crazy, and I blew him off. But when I saw that, and it still didn't register, of course, till like, a decade later, because now that I got that paperwork and threw it away on accident, well, I mean, on purpose, but I shouldn't have. Now it makes sense. Like, my ex-husband married somebody in my name to steal my inheritance. I'm just saying. Okay. So that's another part of my story I wanted to get on there. Okay. So another part of my story is, I think I was about 15, and I started getting into, now I've always felt called to God, always connected, always, very young, definitely, you know, divine consciousness, whatever you want to call it, built in for sure. And I don't know, God, the Most High, the Creator, whatever. It doesn't. It's just that there's more. There's so much. We're attached to something so great. We're all attached to each other, but we're really attached to something so great. It's like there's something really, just powerful up there, And I guess in and around everything, right? But I did start doing some numerology for fun, and I started learning how to do that. And these charts are a pain in the booty, okay? These charts are like, if you ever pay somebody to do a numerology chart, they earn it, okay? Because it is not just some fluffy thing you just go, blah, blah. It's the numerology charts are very detailed. It's all math, and it's really cool. It's really cool, but it is definitely a detailed, extensive thing to do. So, anyway, I did the numerology chart for myself. I did it for my family, my friends, and it would take me a long time, to do. Because I was new at it, and also, like I said, it's extensive to do a whole chart. Well, after doing the charts, my fake mother came to me and asked me to do a chart on Mariana, whatever, super long name. That's why I can't remember it. I did this chart, and this person was supposed to have like everything. We're talking family, love, health, fortune, fame, creativity, abundance. Like it was the most glorious chart you could have done, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, this person is going to have an amazing life, right? Well, before I did the chart, when my fake mother gave me the name and asked me to do the chart, I was shocked because I'm pretty sure it was either my birth date or her birth date that was the same on it. And I think it was my birthday. And because I never met, to this day, I've never met anybody with the same birthday that I have. So, but the year was different. That's the thing. And that's what they're hiding from me. So I can't figure out who I am. They're not giving up the information. So I've got my birthday, and then the year is different. And I was like, who is this? I'd like to know who it is, who has the same birthday. Like, who is it? Like, I'd like to know who this is, right? And she said, oh, it's a friend of mine. And I know that the person was younger than me. So I remember saying, oh, I said, you're friends with a child? Like, obviously that's not true. It's baloney, right? I knew she was not being upfront, but she was, the kind of person who did that. And I was just told to, shut up and do what I was told. And, just, I wasn't allowed to ask questions. And it was like, oh, it's a need to know basis and you don't need to know. Yeah. Guess what? I did need to know. I did need to know because that was me. She was doing a chart on and wasn't telling me. So I've got, let's see. So I'm doing this chart, and the birthday was either like, I remember thinking it was a child. It was like 4 years younger or 8 years younger, and I can't remember. I can't remember. But I vaguely remember having a conversation with her when I was very small, and having this argument with her about like changing my birthday, and she was making it very different than, like, my age was going to be very different, and it was like a 7-year difference or a 9-year difference or a 4-year difference. To me, it seemed huge as a child. Like if I was 7, that would have been like making me, 11. It's like, yeah. And it just seemed ludicrous to me. And I guess I had an uncle from my original family that would come by and check on me and stuff, until I think they had him falsely arrested. And you know, I don't remember his name though. Um, so yeah. But he said, yeah, oh, she's gonna do spell work, so you look, no one will know. I'm like, who can do spell work to make you look like 7 years older or 4 years older than you are? Like, it seemed ludicrous to me. But there are some people who can see through spell work. And I remember going into a classroom or two where they're like, what is she doing here? She's too young to be in here. And they could see through it. And so I'm sure those people caught HELL from my family for being gifted, and being able to see the truth. I'm sure they put them through the ringer, just like I've been put through the ringer. People who tell the truth, covens and people who are doing dirty stuff don't like it. Or you can see the truth, they don't like it. So that's the numerology stuff, and you know, it's kind of funny that like I did my own chart when I was 15, but I can't remember the name. I try to like do the self hypnosis thing, and like try to like it out, but I haven't got there yet, And I'm like, okay, I guess God doesn't want me to know yet, because when it's gonna come to me, and I know I'm gonna be like, oh, that's it. But my paperwork's supposed to be come to me, I think, 2 more times now since this original theft occurred with my paperwork. And this town is getting in the way of it. So, yeah, it's like every single institution in this town is involved in it, And it's just, I don't even think anybody personally might have a problem with me. They're just blindly doing this because out of blind loyalty. So, but whatever, we all have our lessons to learn, don't we? Sometimes we have to learn the hard way, and that might be the case for this place, because I think they've been getting away with a lot of stuff for a long time. Okay, so another thing, let's see, we've got, yeah, I found the marriage certificate online. Okay, sometime between 2009 and 2013-ish. Gary and my title. Oh, yeah. Paperwork. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I dated somebody who told me my family was robbing me. And, of course, everything was kept from me really well. So I had no idea. I mean, I knew some of my family members had, were millionaires, but not like anybody directly around me. I thought, I thought it was pretty, blue collar kind of situation. I mean, I remember my shoes talking to me when I was like, what, in junior high? My shoes were talking. When the sole separates from the upper, and you're walking around. Anyways, oh yeah. And they were cheap shoes too in the first place. So I don't know. Like, I never would have thought that there was like an abundance of money anywhere in my. I don't. Maybe the family. No, it came in, I think, when I was about 10. So, but anyway, I think that was just to create the illusion that that it was all part of the illusion to keep me in the dark about who I am and whatnot. So then, so I was dating somebody, and they were like, "Oh, your family's robbing you," and I'm like, "What are you talking about? We don't have any money. I don't have any money. I don't have anybody. My parents had kids so young; they were just teenagers. There's no way I could be adopted. There's no way." But what a perfect cover, right? Yeah. Stick with a couple of teenagers and steal an inheritance, and perfect. No one will ever think that, because teenage parents, I mean, who would question, you know? Yeah. Well, might want to look twice the next time you see teenage parents. They might not be the real parents. A child might be stolen or a foster kid that's been adopted for an inheritance. Yeah. Don't think they haven't sought us out. I know I'm not the only one. I met like 4 people this summer who have all got this weird story, and we've all been like thrown in the deep end, literally, physically, for like seeing if we can, swim, teaching us to swim by throwing us in water over our heads. And I think I mentioned that before about like being thrown into a body of water, like a lake or like a what do you call it? A river or the ocean or a pool, and so many people have the same story. And it seems like these kind of seem like they're Earth Angel-y kind of chosen one vibe, and they're just horribly abused. We're just horribly abused. Like, it's like, because if they don't abuse us, they can't come close to us. They have to kick us down into this low vibration in order to be able to approach us. Otherwise, they can't even get to us. So try to rise above it. I know it's hard. Trust me, I know it's hard. I'm doing it right now again. But yeah, it's like, yeah. So he had brought something to me about a title, and I don't know what it was. I didn't read the paperwork. Again, I'm like, whatever. I don't know what is with me and paperwork. I just don't even want to look at it. Like, I really don't like court stuff. I don't like paperwork stuff. Like, it just, it's, I don't know. I guess it's just never been good news for me. And not that I've been in trouble or anything. I haven't. But I don't know. Maybe my ADHD. I don't like to like read lengthy stuff. It's just really, you know, if you have ADHD. Okay, so and he brought me this paperwork and he said I had a title. Now this was I don't know what the title was. I didn't care because this is my problem because I don't care. Like, I'm not like money, power, title, power, like I'm not like political and da da da. Like, I'm just kind of like, I just want to love everybody and everybody be loved, and it's like, when someone tells me something like that, I'm like, okay, yeah, I got a title. Okay, like whatever. It's just not like it's not a priority, but that's probably exactly why it's coming to me, because I'll handle it responsibly. I hope I will. Anyway, I will try to do that because anyway, it was kind of like in retrospect now, because I've had several other people come up to me about it. Some historians and some people that do that kind of thing. That sold out. They sold out too. Yeah, a lot of people sell out. This inheritance is like stupid money, like stupid. Like the kind of money you can pay off like officials, like, and lots of them in different states, kind of thing. So, but anyway, he told me my family was stealing my inheritance and this and that. Of course, I had no idea what he's talking about. That there's a title and that they're going to give it to my cousin, right? And some guy cousin, which I assume I didn't. I don't know. I think they made a fake something there, because suddenly this cousin pops out of the woodwork from like where, I don't know. Supposedly, he's somebody I never heard of. Until my 30s. All of a sudden pops up this person. So like, or even, I don't know. So, and his phone number no longer works either. So I think he was just a puppet. They probably faked some documents and got him in there so they could use him to do whatever. But so that's another thing I'm looking for. What that is, the paperwork. I've actually had a couple of an older woman come up to me, not a couple, an older woman come up to me, and she was apologizing to me for what she did to get somebody in to see. I guess there's a place where you can go. The Catholics keep track of like miracles and stuff, and she got somebody in there, my person that I was dating at that time, in there by faking a miracle, I guess. I don't know. She got somebody in there so they could look at my stuff. This is all about money, you know. So, and she came and apologized to me, and I told her I was fine. I'm okay, you know, I am. I'm okay. I don't have anything or anyone. But, you know, but I have my I'm conscientious. You know, my conscience is clear. That's the point. And that's all really anybody could really ask for in this life is to be able to. I mean, it's a really beautiful thing to have a clear conscience when you're like upright and doing the right thing in every instance you possibly can, and you know, doing right by people and helping yourself and healing yourself, and you know, and truly just like living life on this like awesome balancing act of like the duality of walking between both worlds, you know. And I'm I don't think I could give that up for anything. You know, it's a beautiful thing. I hope everybody has peace, inner peace, and clear conscience, you know. And be careful because sometimes people who sleep well, I was just telling somebody else's friend this. Sometimes people, you'll think people are sleeping well because they have a clear conscience, but it's either people have a clear conscience or they have no conscience whatsoever. So just be aware. Yeah. I've done a few people that like, I'm like, oh, they're so peaceful. They're sleeping so well. It's because they don't care about anything but themselves. And even then, they don't care. Because if they cared about themselves, then they would care about other people too, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, be careful of that. Someone sleeping peacefully either means they have a clear conscience or they have no conscience. So, all right. Anyway, let's move it along here. Okay. Yes. So one of my other neighbors had somebody who looked like a cousin, but she called her aunt, and her aunt, had this name. It was really unique, and she accentuated it when she was introducing her, like when you're introducing people who you only know first name. Like I don't know her last name. My neighbor, this other neighbor, I didn't know her last name. She didn't know me that well, you know. Like, and she was like, I was like, oh, you know, I'm Amanda. You know, she's like, oh, this is Mariana. Blah, 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 blah. She spewed off this huge long name, and I was like, that was weird. And I went back and asked her about it like a year or two later because, um, you know, this person was kind of like blonde hair and about my build, but you know, I think that they used her to open an account, you know, in my name or something like that. My ID went missing for 2 days around that time. But anyway, like I said, careful who you trust, you know. So then I have another neighbor tried to do. I think that something happened, and there was like somebody was gonna have to go to court, and like show face for this kind of thing, right? And the I don't know, maybe the other one wasn't willing to do that, but I think one of my other neighbors stepped up to the plate on this and was pretending to be me, you know. All of a sudden, she dyed her hair blonde, and there was like, as soon as the mail truck would pull up, like people would come out of like nowhere. I'm like, where are they coming from? I don't know if they're coming from work or like around the corner in a big house, probably my house. No. But they're like, just would just zoom out of nowhere. Sometimes complete strangers who didn't live there would pull up and the mailman would hand them stuff, and I'm like, what is going on here? I reported this stuff, by the way. And license plates, everything, to managers, not just like in passing, but actually reported it. And because I knew that something was supposed to be coming to me, and I was told so. So like, I was informed of it. So when stuff isn't showing up, and it's supposed to, like, it's very strange. And you already know that somebody's stolen your mail before. So, all of a sudden, like, people are getting new cars, people have all new clothes, people have like, and you're like, they're not working. Like, what's up, They're always stalking me. Like, they're always like waiting for the mail to show up. They're always like, show up every single place I go. Literally. Oh my gosh. Like, I would put in an order for the grocery store, and as soon as I hit like pay, I would watch one of my neighbors go down. They'd be down there. And I'm like, what the bloody, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Are you doing something to my food? Like, what? Okay, now I understand how it sounds a little paranoid. That does. Okay, I get it. But there are some incidences that are really bad, and we're going to talk about that. Maybe not all in one setting, but we're going to talk about it because there were several times where it seemed I was very sick. My daughter was as well after eating at these people's places. So, yes. And also, after my ex was in town, who had to let me know that he was there taking pictures when the lady was serving me at an address he's not supposed to, that was confidential. But he knew where to serve me, which was at my address confidentiality address. But he served me at my apartment because it was about stalking and harassing and bullying me, making sure I knew that he knew where we were and that he had the upper hand. Good job. Way to respect boundaries. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, let's see, what else do we have here? We've got oh yeah, I don't know if I talked about this already, but my neighbors thought it would be fun to do a TikTok skit and asked me to come over and help, right? I think I might have talked about this already, but I'll tell it again real quick. So Becky and this other lady, Robin, who I'm not sure what she does, if she does title work in town or what, but they wanted me to come over and do a skit. And they're like, well, I trusted this girl. We were friends long enough where wasn't like a perfect stranger or something, And she's like, oh, just have to pretend to sign over this house, right? We're going to videotape it, right? And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, just like pretend like, oh, hey, we're going to sign this, And then she's like, well, you don't own anything, so you don't even worry about it, And I'm like, what do you mean? What is this, And she's like, oh, it's just pretend. It's just pretend. Just sign, And I'm like, all right, fine. So we do the skit, right? And I sign, but my spidey senses were like, something's wrong. Seems weird. So I'm like, I signed a different signature than I would sign for a legal document, And and after the video was done, and they're all like jumping up and down, celebrating, right? It was about a transfer of a house. And after they're celebrating, and I'm like, and the lady Robin goes, "This isn't your normal signature." And I'm like, I think I met her once before. And I'm like, how do you know what my normal signature is? And what does it matter if it's a skit? You know? But again, I don't know. I guess I'm too trusting or just naive or dumb because I should have probably ripped the paperwork out of their hands at that point and gone, what the heck is this? But yeah. This is why Earth Angels is supposed to be with a protector, like somebody strong and like because we're too like, oh, it's okay, la la la, everybody's good, everybody's wonderful, la la la, everybody loves you. No, some people suck and they're out. They really do just target people who are nice and think it's hilarious apparently. So, yeah, that's I was so sick. Now, one of their kids told me there was hair in my food, and I'm thinking there's a hair like sticking out of my food, like eating at their house. So I'm thinking it's like you can find a hair and if you pull it out, right, some long hair, or whatever, like someone cooking. Okay, and I'm like, I don't see anything. And she's like, no, there's hair in your food. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Now, I didn't know then anything about witchcraft and hoodoo voodoo and general muckery, but that is not a good thing if someone says there's hair in your food. And my fake family has also done this with a binding, which I also thought was a joke. I thought they were joking, but they did a binding on me. So, yeah. And again, kids were telling me that there's hair in your food, they're doing something to you, and I'm like, no, I don't see anything, it's fine. I'm like, it's not going to be a long hair that you can pull out. It's going to be like, microscopically blended in there. So I don't know what that does, like eating hair. I don't know how, I guess it must bind you to somebody. It must be a binding thing. I don't know, I'm learning about all this stuff. It's all new to me. I've been working on this for like a year, and I've been thinking about, I've been called to do like tarot for like a year and readings and share intuitions, intuitive downloads that I get. And I'm just chicken. And also I was I'm in the address confidentiality program, but I was really trying to lay low for my daughter and I. But thanks to this awesome town, I'm out because there's no such thing as privacy if you're being, and confidentiality apparently is an illusion in today's world because the internet and witches, yeah. So, oh, and people who can be easily paid off for peanuts to sell people out who are innocent and sweet and trying to help them. Yeah. And yeah, I know that sounds like I'm stroking my ego a little bit, but I'm telling you, I gave some of these women like 5 times, like gave them a real pure start over chance to like be friends and like, let's help each other and grow and raise each other up, And every time that they were trying to be friends with me, it was just a facade. And it's sad because I don't know. It could have been different, if I had gotten my inheritance a few years ago when I was supposed to, or a couple of decades ago, I would have helped anybody that needed it. They didn't have to take it like that. Yeah. So, and I did. I helped them out. It's funny because I would help them out as much as I could anyway, and thinking that they didn't have anything worse than me, and that they were worse off than me, and they were only befriending me to stab me in the back. So, but you know, clear conscience is more valuable than people think. So, okay, now what's the next part? Oh, this one's terrible. I don't know if I want to go there. So one day, my fake parents, had me come over. They're like, come over and meet our other daughter, Amanda. Your other daughter, Amanda. That's my apparently my adopted name. Not real. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so Amanda, come and meet your other daughter, Amanda. And I'm like, that's really offensive, like, what do you mean your other daughter, Amanda, right? And they're like really abrasive people, and they're really kind of like abrasive. This perfect word. And so I didn't. They like to they think it's hilarious to like poke fun at people and make fun of people, make people look stupid, or they're the kind of people who like pull your pants down like in front of like somebody you have going on a date with on the first time, and it's just embarrassing, and it's too far, always too far, but not in a fun way. Too far, it's always like too far in a humiliation way, with people. And they'll try to set people up to look stupid, like ask them questions and trick them. It's like, it's just, I don't know what is. I never felt like I fit in with that. Okay, I'm just saying, like, I never felt like how come they don't get that that's hurting that person? Like, how come they don't get that they're hurting people, that they've gone too far? How come they can't recognize that like that person's like humiliated right now, and they're laughing and thinking it's great, And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, it just didn't seem to ever make sense. And yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it didn't make sense to me. So understanding that I may have been adopted, or I guess I am adopted. Still struggling with accepting it. It's weird because my parents, like I said, they were so young. I never considered that a possibility ever. Like, ever. Like, that was one thing that I was solid on, is that. But I had cut them out of my life already, which is ironic. And I haven't spoken to them in 3 years. Yeah. So, because they threatened to sue me after I moved here. And I'm like, how are you going to sue your daughter who left a controlling, abusive environment, is starting over in public housing, and doesn't even have a job yet? What? But now it makes sense, because apparently I got a shiitake ton of money somewhere. Somebody's been siphoning for the last few decades. So, but karma, good and bad, comes to everybody. All right, so we have what else? No. Oh, the other Amanda. Yeah, this is weird. This is like some trafficking stuff too, I feel like. So I go over to my parents, fake parents, and I meet this girl, Amanda, who actually does look like my fake mother, So, and she's like, and it was weird. Again, the same kind of like weird, pokey, abrasive, like hilarity kind of situation where they're just like, where everybody feels like there's an inside thing and they're not really communicating what the heck is going on. And then you've got like, you're just kind of like, what? Like, what is the point of this? Like, why is it so funny for you to say your other daughter, Amanda? Why is this so hilarious? Like, I'm like, this is, I'm not comfortable with this. Like, this is kind of hurting my feelings, like, why would you say this is your daughter, Amanda, when I'm right here? Like, it was just weird, and this girl was, I think a girl, I don't know. She's an adult. She's same, approximately around the same age as I am. And she's like, and she's like, and she's crying. And I'm like, what do you have to be sorry for? I just met you. Like, you haven't done anything. It's my parents being, tools, not you. Like, you don't have anything to be sorry about. And she's just crying, crying. And my fake mother's like, oh, give me a break. Like, oh, get a backbone. And then she goes and gets like a purse. She's like, you want a purse? And the girl like perks up. She's like, yeah. Like, it was like, and then she gives the girl a purse. And the girl's like all like excited looking through. And I'm like, I feel like it's code for like you don't have to get RAPED for like a week if you have a purse. Like it was that kind of weird vibe. And I'm like, and then my fake parents are going on and on about like how, oh, this is our other daughter, man, and la 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 la, and she's so much better than you, and and I'm like, I said, you know what? I've let you know that I'm not comfortable with this. I think it's weird and I don't like it. And I've asked you to stop. So I'm leaving. And I left. It was like that weird. And so I think they were using her. And then once I moved to Colorado, they didn't have access to my money, which is why they threatened to sue me. They're threatening to sue somebody you've been robbing for the last 2 decades. Like this is the logic of some people, seriously. And I hope they're under spell work because otherwise it's just totally, completely messed up, that these people did this to, yeah. All I ever wanted, I just wanted to belong. I wanted to be loved. I remember my grandmother asking me, I caught them one time, I think probably around the time the inheritance came in. And I was going up, like, going up the stairs from the basement. Not like it was like a finished basement. I wasn't like, I was definitely Cinderella, but not like, it wasn't like a dungeon. Okay. So it was a finished basement. But I came up, that was my grandmother's house, my fake grandmother's house, I guess. And so I came up the stairs just as they're saying, everything will be okay as long as Mandy doesn't know. Mandy never finds out. So, and I was like, find out what? They're like, how did she do that? That's what they said. I'm like, find out what? I'm just like, ooh, I'm all excited, because it's innocent. But, so I don't know, I don't know. Some shady stuff going on. I'm just saying. Okay, so what else? Okay, so let's see, about 2013, 15, 2015-ish. Around 2015, yeah, I was working at a dental office. So, and my family needed me to come up to New Hampshire. They made it like it was a whole vacation, thing. And we're all gonna go skiing and la la la. Gosh, I hadn't been skiing forever, which it was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, I love skiing. I haven't been in years again, but it's an expensive sport. So let's see. So both my grandmother and my cousin expressed to me during this time that actually my cousin was later after I'd been back to Florida. But my Nana was like, I'm so sorry for what they're doing to you. And I was like, well, what are they doing that they haven't been doing my whole life? Like, they're always been mean as heck, like that's verbal abuse, physical abuse, that's all. That shouldn't be shocking to her at this point, even though she's in her 90s. And she's like, no, they're robbing you. They're stealing all your money. And I'm like, what money? I'm like, she was like starting to lose it because she's in her 90s. And you should have seen my family come flying in, like my sister, her husband, and my somebody else. It was my mother. I think it was my mother. Oh, look who's talking crazy. They're talking about her, right? I think she was letting me know the truth, and they did not like it. I don't think she was dementia at all. She always had her wits about her, and she did after that too. That was not a dementia situation. She wasn't diagnosed with that either. My other grandmother was, but again, I think it was to deter them from telling me who I am. Because my other grandmother wanted me to go into this, she had like a little shed kind of thing. And she wanted me to go in there and she's like, your inheritance is in there. I want you to get your inheritance before I go. And she had lost her wits. So I said, I don't care about that. If there's something left to me, I will get that. It's not important. I'm here to visit with you and spend time with you because that's all that really matters. And you can't, that's something you can never get back. And so she was like, things happen after people die. And I was like, okay. She's like, things don't always get to where they're supposed to go, right? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't really think that there was any reason for people to rob me from my family. Like I know they're kind of mean and nasty, but I didn't think that they were criminal. So I was like, if you left something for me, I will get it when you're gone. I'm not worried about that. So I thought it was this big brick of silver that I almost ended up giving it away as a door stopper. Someone asked me for it. I was like, you want my grandmother's door stopper? And it was like this brick of silver, like this big. I didn't know what it was. Obviously I didn't grow up with money, that I knew of. So, I didn't know that that's what it was. I almost gave it away, but, my mother or my aunt called and asked me for it. And so I gave it to them, and I was like, oh, I can't give you that. My aunt wants it or whatever. That's like 40K, by the way, or 80K. It was like silver was high then. But, yeah, I could have used that then. So it's kind of messed up. But anyway, I thought that was my inheritance. I thought that's what she was talking about. But I remember when I was going through the boxes and I was like, oh my, Grammy said that my inheritance was in here. I don't know what she's talking about. Like there's so many boxes in here and they all have this name, Mariana. And I'm like, who is Mariana, right? And my big mother, makes sure she's like, oh, there's the passport. Give me that. And she took it. And I was like, who is this? Who is this person? I don't even know them. Like, is this the Connecticut family? Who is this? Like we have family that we didn't really talk to or see in Connecticut. But so I don't know. Again, it was just so much. It was like, God, there was like 12 boxes of stuff that like just it didn't make sense to me, and I just figured that maybe she was just talking crazy because she had dementia and there wasn't anything left for me, so I didn't care. I cared because she said it, so I did listen to her. She said it was in the shed, but I didn't find anything in particular. Nothing was in my name, my adoptive name. So I don't know, hindsight's 2020. I wish I took the boxes with me, but they were very rats have been through, and it was gonna be. You got to be careful with that stuff. You can get sick from that, But, so let's see. We got Nana telling us. My cousin called me later. My cousin called me. He reported it to the feds or to the police. But my family connected with the Masons. My family had it thrown out or whatever. It was their connections, and they got it paid off somebody or whatever. And so, but my cousin did report this, and this was at least 2015, 2017, 2015, 2016-ish. And that was in New Hampshire. And he reported it, that what they were doing. And they couldn't pay him off, so I'm so proud of him. He didn't buy in like everybody else, apparently. And I've had other people come up and tell me too, and then I just didn't know what the heck they were talking about. They're like, your family's robbing you, blah, 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 and your family's terrible. And I'm like, yeah, I know they're terrible. I grew up with them. They're awful. They're horrendous. They're so mean. They're so abusive. and like, um, and they enjoy it. That's the sickest part about them. So, but they're good salesmen and they're good bullies. I'll tell you that. They definitely have played a lot of people and paid a lot of people, I think, to participate in this. You know, and the gig is up. Gig is up. So the Fed's have been on it for over a year, at least. Let's see, 2 years, maybe a year and a half. I don't know. It's been a while. I definitely should have got my paperwork by now. Let's put it that way. So, Feds came to me and they told me that my sister was stealing my inheritance. And again, I'm like, I don't have any inheritance. My parents are broke, teenage bride and groom. You know, and they're like, your sister is robbing your inheritance. I'm like, what? You know, and I'm like, okay, I just, they're like, you're going to be getting paperwork, la, la, la. So paperwork never came. And paperwork, I remember the paperwork that had, come before that I had thrown away and that someone took from out back, And then I was like, oh my gosh, that skit, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and then all these things start popping up. You're like, oh my gosh, this is starting to make sense. This is what my cousin was talking about. This is what my grandmother was talking about, this is what, people who I was friends with would just come up to me like, your family, your families. And I'm like, yeah, I know they're terrible, but I didn't know how terrible, like criminal terrible. I mean, I knew there were bullies and enjoyed other people being hurt a little too much. I think they're sadistic, and not in like the cool, fun, sexy way. I'm talking about like really sadistic, or they enjoy hurting people, emotionally, especially, and physically, I think. But I mean, I know that I was like, I was really young. I was in elementary school the first time I asked, my fake mother why she hated me so much when I was crying, and just like, because even then I had the emotional intelligence to understand that somebody despised me, And so I'm starting to see why, because if it was about money, yeah. Okay, so yeah. And then there was one more thing, but something about my grandmother's funeral. Oh, this was awful. Oh, mind you, imagine you are, you've grown up with your family, your parents still married, like, you've got, a sibling, and like, you've gone to, the same, no inclination of any kind of adoption whatsoever. And then, excuse me, your grandmother's funeral, right? You've flown to with your new infant daughter, and you've got, after the funeral, there was my cousin's aunt, so it was like not related to me, came up to me and said, I just want to let you know, I heard what happened to you, and we heard, and we'll just, you'll always be family to us, and I'm like, well, of course, like, why wouldn't I be? Like, you too, She's like, you don't know? And I'm like, know what? Like, how come she doesn't know? How come she doesn't know? And started asking around, like, how come she doesn't know? And yeah, so they were tricking other people too, probably trying to make it seem like, and I'm like, no, what? Fine. Um, so, but then after we're, at the end of really good, you have like the people hang out and talk, and they have their, hors d'oeuvres and drinks and just chill and talk about the person and stuff. Well, at the end of that, when we're wrapping up, we're like cleaning up the tables and stuff like that. And they have, I was gathering the flowers up, and I was like, hey, to my sister, I'm like, hey, do you want to take some of these home? I think we were just talking about the flowers or something like that. And I was like, hey, I thought she didn't hear me. So I'm like, hey, right now, mind you, people are hustling, bustling. It's not like it's a quiet, like serene setting. Like they're moving tables and stuff. So it was not like I was being out of place by calling for her again. And she turned around, stopped at me, and was like, I don't want to deal with you. My grandmother's funeral. It's my grandmother's funeral. And I'm like, what? Like, yeah. I said, yeah, it's my grandmother's funeral too. Like, what are you talking about? And she was like, never mind, And I was like, it was so weird that I asked her, got in the car, and I was like, what was that about? Why did you say my grandmother? Not like she wasn't my grandmother. And she's like, oh, it was nothing. And I'm like, it didn't feel like nothing. Didn't feel like nothing, It was weird, It was weird. So these are all the things that are like, coming to surface after whew, after realizing what was happening, and waiting on this paperwork, and realizing that my neighbors were interrupting it, probably siphoning off of it somewhere in this bank account that they were all feeding off of. But I thought initially that my ex, because he won the lottery after, yeah. God has a sense of humor, So my ex won the lottery. Sometimes things don't make sense, because I tell you, my daughter and I really could have used that to get back on our feet after him. Yeah. But sometimes God gives us everything we think we want, just so we can see that the real work needs to be done on the inside, You think if you get the house and the kid and the money and the this and the that and the that you're going to be happy? You're going to be fulfilled? That's where it's at. It's absolutely the most valuable thing a person can have. Okay. I'm not saying people don't make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. You don't have to be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect, okay? But if your intentions are pure and you're on your way and you're always trying to have good intentions, I know the road to it's paved with, yeah, I know. But it matters. It matters if you're setting out to defraud, you know, steal somebody's identity, steal their inheritance. Don't even let them know who they are. Like you don't even give them their birth date and their last name so they can know who they are. Like it's not bad enough you've taken, it's not bad enough you lied to them for decades, robbed them for decades. Now you just won't give them their name and their birth date. Now you just want to say they're crazy, so you can get you want to call somebody crazy because they figured out what you're doing. Like I said, Becky, I'm very grateful for you because without that hard evidence of seeing it, all these other things wouldn't really have made me question anything. Obviously, it didn't make me question anything hard enough to do anything or look into it or understand what was really happening, you know? And so, yeah, she did wrong. She did wrong. But she also vindicated me and she also did right. So I'm very grateful for her. And yeah, if she ever needs anything, I will definitely be there for her. You know? So, but anyway, I think that is it for the adoption stuff for right now. I thought I had a phone stolen, but I just found it. Um, so once I get it charged up, I'll see if some of the adoption places have gotten back to me, and hopefully I'll know who I am this year. And while the money would be nice, it's a little bit late because the stuff I've needed money for has kind of been going on, you know, the last 6 months. And, you know, it is what it is, you know, it is what it is. If, it would have been nice to have an attorney, let's just say that. And, especially fighting this town that fights dirty. And my ex who fights dirty and is a millionaire. So I just would like a fair shake in this world. It doesn't have to be at a great advantage, but it would just be nice if it was fair once in a while, you know? Oh well, you know what they say. Life isn't fair. But I think it can be. You know, if people make conscious choices and have good intentions, you know, I think it can be way more fair than it is. You know? And I know of some other people that have been bullied around, and I will talk about that in a more obscure way as to not reveal anybody's identity. But this is a corrupt town. Yeah. And innocent children and innocent people who try to do the right thing. I'm not the only one. Are being steamrolled and bullied and railroaded and out and out lied on, completely lied on. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, I am, I feel like I've been in this weird stagnant energy for like 3 years, but it all makes sense now why, you know? And this is really hard to do, to put myself out there with this information and to ask for the internet sleuths for help and, you know, the hopefully at least just know who I am, you know, even if people don't want to know me, that gave me up, or if I was taken. I don't know. I feel like it might have been a taken situation. That's why they don't want me to know who I am. It's probably just because of the money. but it could be a taken situation. I don't know, and it could be just. I think it was a family thing, like it was like hush hush inside the family kind of thing. Like, oh, we need to. We'll keep her in the family, but nobody can know that she's this person's child, kind of thing. I think that's what happened. I hope that's what happened. I hope I wasn't abducted. In that case, I definitely want to meet my family because they probably would like to meet me too, or to see me too. I don't know. It's disappointing what money will make people do, and all these people, I would have really liked to have been friends with them, and I think that we could have been a good support community for each other. And I think that we could have lifted each other up and raised the vibrations of the earth and this town if people had better intentions, And I don't know. Like I said, sometimes we're put in a place because we do have good intentions and we do have pure, um, we're not doing things wrong. We're not hurting anybody. We're not setting out to hurt anybody. I know I'm not. I should speak for myself. I'm not setting out to hurt anybody. I'm not doing anything wrong. I would never steal anybody's inheritance or their mail or defraud them or pretend to be them or try to deceive them or try to get them in trouble after doing so as well. Like try to get them in trouble with the law, with social service. I mean, like these people went above and beyond trying to destroy my family, my daughter and I. And I mean, it's like why don't you just take the money and leave me alone? It's like let me have my life. You don't have to get in between everything, every job, every person I talk to, every friend, every person I try to date. Like, it's like I don't know. It went too far. You know. I mean, there's wrong, and then there's like, what the bloody are you thinking? Like, that's too far. Like, aren't you worried about any kind of karma or heaven? I don't know, whatever you believe in. Like, you don't think maybe there might be a consequence for doing something so grand and bad? I don't know. I think a lot of people believe lies about me, and they jumped on that bandwagon and then they couldn't get off of it. Because once you've done something illegal, I think you can't. It's really hard to undo that. You're kind of like in it. So I think a lot of people just couldn't back out of it. And while I don't like it because it's my life that they've been messing with, I do understand it. I do understand how that gang mentality can happen. I've dated controlling abusive people and they're really good at like getting you in this like mindset of I don't know. It's kind of like that, or like ride or die, like you're in or out. It's everything or nothing. It's like no matter what I do, no matter how badly I abuse you, you're gonna stay, right? It's like no, I'm not, because I deserve to be loved and respected. Just like I will love and respect the person I'm with. So no, not like that. I'm not saying you can't make mistakes and I'm not gonna forgive, but like no, I'm not going in with like you can do whatever the heck you want and steamroll me and I'm just gonna take it. No. 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 Mutual respect, mutual love, mutual kindness, and people are a choice. They have a choice whether or not to be in your life. You have a choice whether or not to be in somebody else's life. So you've got to treat them accordingly. And if you're not treating somebody right, don't be surprised if they get to stepping. Okay. And vice versa. Someone not treating you right, you have a choice. It's hard. It's hard though. Let me tell you, it's hard. Hard to get away from those narcissists and oh man, they give you a run for your money. I tell you what, like I don't know if you ever really can escape them completely. Yeah, I really don't think you can. It's complete and utter tie severed, and even then, it probably will be hard. But that's the only way that you can really end things with a narcissist and maybe come out okay, because they will make it their mission. They will find the time to destroy you in some way, shape, or form. And while you're busy working on yourself, they're working on undoing you. And I don't know. I don't know. I kind of went off on a tangent there. It wasn't really the point of the video. This is more about the adoption stuff and trying to figure out who I am. So the what was it? Maybe it's just a good time to end the video on that note. I don't know. So I'm gonna start doing more tarot readings, and I have a lot of intuitive downloads that are like going crazy. And Earth Angels, Soul Tribe, I know you're out there. We're gonna find each other. We're gonna, this karmic crazy, bad intention, mean people, mean girl, mean boy, whatever thing that's happening is not going to continue. We're breaking free a bit, and we're gonna have a much better time, a much better time come from here on out. And times are changing. Things are changing in this world, and you can see it. You can see it in the news. You've got like a 40-year-old missing persons. They find them, kind of thing. Like case solved, cold cases, 40 years old, cold cases solved, or one that I heard, I just flashed across my phone for like a second. There, the what's it called? Volcano. There's a volcano, right, out in Hawaii. That's going. I guess a lot of people are going to watch it, right? Must be nice. I would like to go see a volcano, like from afar, but see it live. That would be cool. And but I guess there's like wherever people are watching it from, there's a cliff, and they said that its toddler, its mother caught the toddler like right before, like a foot before. Oh my god! As a mother, oh god, I was like, thank you God, because like I don't know. Every mother's had like a panic moment, like as your hand to slip free from your child. But can you imagine if you're on the edge of a cliff with a volcano? What? Oh my gosh, the panic must have ensued. I can't even imagine. I had an incident one time just in a mall, yeah, way back when, in a mall, and my son was like, man, they really know how to handle stuff though. It was like, bam! I was like, you say, I can't find my kid. Like, gate, nobody leaves. It's like, wow, really, really cool. But that can't happen by a volcano, you know? So that is one that is called divine intervention. And I love that because that is like, we're not alone. We're being looked after, like that baby was saved from God knows what. So it's just like this reaffirming blessing, that hey, If you're about to fall off an edge, God's got you. Or whatever you call him. Most High, the Creator, Odin, hoodoo, voodoo, witchcraft, whatever you answer to. You know there's something greater than this world than us. And it's a beautiful thing. And it's in all of us and it's around us. And you can feel it. You can feel that energy. It's awesome. But what else? Oh yeah, they found this car, a whole car in a river. Like Florida. Like a whole car. A whole car was missing, okay, from somebody that had disappeared. I got more to tell about that story because, yeah, that is a weird situation. So that car was hidden. So, you know what they say? That which is hidden will be revealed. That which is in the darkness will be revealed. You know, karma comes back around all the time, whether it's good karma or bad karma. It's coming back. It's coming back for you. So, you know, I love seeing the stories about, stuff like that. You know, mystery solved. They didn't know if the woman had run away or if she'd been murdered. She'd gone out with this guy, but they couldn't find the car, so they thought she disappeared with the car, and like they thought it was more likely maybe that she had just gone off and started over a new life or something because the car was missing and she was missing. But nope, she was murdered. And the car was in the bottom of a river, which I guess there was some drought and the river revealed itself. So just because you think you've gotten away with whatever you're doing, with whatever you're trying to do, you might get away with it for a minute, but it'll surface. So that's why I try to do the right thing as much as I can. I try to live life compassionately and lovingly for around people and treat people the way I would like to be treated, because the Most High knows that I may not have necessarily been treated very nicely my whole life. I have met a few people that were nice, that were just nice, that were just nice and kind and genuine. My family steamrolled them. And here it seems like this town steamrolls everyone I come in contact with. I just really would like people to maybe judge me based off of their actual interactions with me instead of just what other people say. I don't know. I guess if it's the right soul tribe, the right friends, the right partner, they will see through that, right? I don't know. I've had a lot of people say a lot of stuff about people that I've talked to, and I have a past. Everybody has a past. Everybody's, been a jerk in some relationship or whatever. Nobody's perfect in every single relationship. If you meet a person, they're going to be the good guy and the bad guy in relationships, in their past or friendships or jobs. And just because someone was a dodo bird 20 years ago with somebody it's like, doesn't mean that's who they are. That doesn't identify them as a person today. Like, it's almost like too simplified, oversimplified. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, you've been an upright, decent person for the last 25 years, but remember that one time in band camp, like 100 years ago, and you spit on Susie's hair with gum, like, you're the devil. It's like, no, it doesn't make me the devil. That makes me normal, and I made a mistake, and I don't do that kind of thing, anymore. So, yeah. And for the record, I have never and do not sell my body ever in any way, shape, or form. And if anybody has had to do that, and if I had to do that, I would own it. Because if you're in a position where you have to do something like that, you're in a tough place, you know? And I wouldn't judge. I wouldn't judge anybody who's done that. I thought about it a couple times. Time's been tough, but I didn't, you know? And I'm really grateful that that's not part of my story because it's a really hard thing to get over, from what I understand. It's kind of thing that it stays with you, like a rape. I've been raped, it stays with you. And, decades of therapy make it better, but it's always, you know, I mean, you'll be okay. Like, you're not gonna like live with you every day, but like, it changes you. It definitely does something, to your spirit. So, anyone who's having to do anything like that, my heart goes out to you. I have a lot of compassion, and because I've been abused, and I feel like having to sell yourself is a form of abuse because it means that you aren't being loved and cared for, and either by the people around you or by yourself, you know. So, and sometimes people don't have a choice, or it seems like they don't have a choice. So, but I have not, or have I ever? So, just for the record, it's one of the things that's been circulating about me. And no. And just being friendly and talking to people when you're at the grocery store or if you're at the gas station, and just because you're like a bubbly and sociable person doesn't make you somebody who sells themselves for that. So let's get a grip, okay? I think people should talk to people more. And if people were just maybe a little bit more friendly, a little more kind to people, that they don't even know, and just say hi to somebody who looks like they're sad and talk to them for a couple minutes, it might change the vibration of the world. So instead of hating on somebody and calling them names, judging them for these people don't even know my story. They don't know I've been raped. They don't know, like, I'm a person. And you can just say things about people without knowing them, like, so yeah, I'm kind of a prude in that department. Like, I wait for like the right person, and I'll wait, 6 months, a year, 2.5 years, whatever it is, till the right person, till I feel like it's a person that I might like to be with. And it's definitely not in the same department as what they're saying I am. So if anybody's been told that, that's not true. Just for the record. If that's the only reason why you're watching my channel, you can get to step in because it's not who I am. Sorry. There's plenty of that out there. There's plenty of internet fun stuff you can go play with if that's what you're into. Plenty. That's not my bag, So, anyway. And if it is your bag, own it, Own it. I'm not saying I haven't, okay, I'm not saying that I've made mistakes, okay? I was loving people I shouldn't have slept with, but regardless, being a slut doesn't make you somebody who works for, and everybody's been a little bit of a, from time to time, Anyway, I'm probably going to cut this part out. Yeah, that's really silly. But, yeah. And, yeah. And I'm not a dealer of any kind either. That was another thing going around about me. So, yeah. Nope. None of the above. Okay. Just single mom trying to restart her life after being in a difficult situation a few times in a row. After being well trained by an abusive family on how to be abused regularly. So, yeah, I just, like I said, please try to judge people based on your interactions with them. And I'm not saying give people 100% trust like I've done and blindly and do very foolish things like sign paperwork that, you might be signing away your house or something like that, inheritance. But, you know, give people a chance, no matter what other people say, because people can grow and evolve and change. And even if somebody was doing things really bad or wrong or doing, dealing or doing whatever, what, they're not a person anymore. They're not somebody who can be of value anymore. I mean, what kind of ignorant crapola is that? Of course we're valuable. We're valuable when we're at our lowest point. So, but I own who I am. And if I have embarrassing parts of my story, that's between whoever I'm with and them. And yeah, I will tell the truth about who I am. I'll tell the truth here because it's, when I changed my life and got more spiritual and wanted to live in a upright way that's like conscientious, I valued people who were just really blunt and honest about what they had been through. It helped me face my traumas from my childhood, from my marriages, from my, um, you know, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and I hopefully generational, they call it a generational curse breaker. Hopefully I'm not passing that on to my kids. That was the idea. Work on myself, grow, be healthier, be better, be more compassionate. Don't be a mean, rotten person like I was raised around, and you know, give them the space to grow. And it's like, if you just do a little bit better than what you were given, maybe maybe the vibration of this world will keep getting higher and higher and higher. In a few generations, it'll be just, maybe it'll be a little more peaceful, a little more loving, a little easier for people to be in this world. Because right now it's kind of hard. It's been a real tough time last couple decades for people. We're separated from one another more and more, and all this trafficking stuff's getting out of hand, really, really, really out of hand. It's corruption goes so deep. It's just I don't know, man. I don't like it though. I don't like it. I want to stop it. I'll do whatever I can, within reason, of course. So, shoot, what was I telling you about? I forget. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I don't know if I even should pull any tarot at this point. I feel like it's just kind of got real heavy in here, right? Let's do a tarot for. Let's do that. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. People can talk about me. They can say whatever they want because my conscience is clear, because I do the right thing by people, and I am not out trying to be underhanded to anybody. And people do things wrong to me, that's on them. People tell lies on me, That's on them, not me. People believe that, that's on them. Without come to me themselves, or finding out for themselves. Some people, I guess, just don't like seeing other people happy, or like, I don't know. Maybe some people judge people by the outside, thinking that this person's all sad, this person's sick. You heard just a little bit of my story right now, and trust me, it's way worse. Way worse. It's a lot of work to get to this place where you can be in a good, like, in a good energy, and you can find joy in every day when you've been really horrifically, horrendously put through the ringer. So, and like over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to do something else over and over and over and over and over again. All right, we're going to pick one. So this is the I Don't Care deck by Oracle deck. This is powered by Carnegie? I don't know. I'll put the details in the description. All right. So, what do we have here? Ooh, let's do the Modern Beyond Boo. Okay, ready? All right, let me pick a good one here. There we go. This one. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Look at this. Resplendent. Don't be fooled by my appearance. My soul is resplendent. Is that perfect for what we've been talking about, or what? This is the karmics in this town. They're like, what? Don't be fooled by all my ill wishes on somebody innocent. Oh no, I'm really resplendent inside. Oh my god, let's do another one. Here we go. You're lucky. You're lucky. Ooh, okay. I don't know how lucky that looks. This does not look very lucky. We got somebody with a hospital thing here. You got a caged lion. And I don't know what's going on with the kid here. Is the lion grabbing the kid? I don't know. It doesn't look like a happy scene. Looks like the opposite of you're lucky. Just like you're resplendent. That's it. Oh, come on. Give us one more. Give us one more good one here. This one or this one? We're taking two more because they both popping out. All right. Here we go. It's not the end, only the beginning. Aww. It's not the end, only the beginning. And yeah. Relieve the pressure. Well, someday, right person. Yep. That'd be nice. All right, y'all. Well, on that note, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let me know if you find anything out.